All right, back here on Inside Wrestling Radio, and today on the telephone we have the legendary Scott Steiner. Of course, Scott's website, bootydaddy.com, and all kinds of stuff up there on Scott's website, including a workout DVD you put out a couple of years ago. Scotty, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did a workout video and basically doing some of the stuff I do and how I work out, how I train, and I think the first one came out kind of not what I wanted. The first set of, like, I think 100, because it was more like, because I did it with some girls, you know, it's kind of like, almost like soft porn, you know, so I changed that. So I made them change it, you know, with, complete with the
the good music.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they did that without my consult, so they changed that and hopefully got all that, you know, stuff out. But yeah, it basically goes through how I train and how many sets I do, what kind of reps and what kind of sets, and so it just explains what I do, you know.
Talking about that first video, I guess they went to the extreme with the freaks and peaks thing, huh?
Yeah, and they some of the stuff was, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't put it in. I told them I didn't want it in, and then they changed it, you know. So
got it. Before the break, I mentioned the legendary move of yours, the Frankensteiner, and I remember that interview that you and Rick did on television. I might have been Shivani asked you guys, what is that move? What's the name of that move? And Rick saying something to the effect of, well, people make a awful face when my brother jumps up in the air to give them that move, and they're so scared it looks like Frankenstein's coming, so we're going to call it the Frankensteiner. Just a classic interview there, Scotty. And you know, nobody had ever seen a move like that at the time you brought it in here, because did you see it somewhere and then just say, I can do that?
No, I made, that's the move I made up. You know, everybody tries to do it now. I mean, a lot smaller guys, you know, some of the guys call it the Hurricanrana, but it's basically, it's a move I invented, and I actually just thought of it and did it one day, and people seemed to like it, and you know, so I kind of knew that would be an exciting, you know, finishing move, and it just took off. You know, the fans loved it. You know,
it took off huge, man. Everybody was trying to do it, you know, and a lot of people just couldn't figure out how to make it happen. I remember, you know, I was working the Indies pretty heavily back then, and a guy we used to work with up in North Carolina would insist every match to break out the Frankensteiner at least 2 or 3 times.
Right.
You know, and I mean, they loved it. Everybody loved it. It was insane, and like I said, nobody had ever seen anything like that before, and you still break it out from time to time to this day.
Usually I do it off the top rope now. It's like, but that move, like I said, that move took off, and you know, to this day, people try to copy it, but you know, the fans still love it. You know, Absolutely. They go nuts when I do it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, that nobody had ever seen it before, and you being the originator of it, there, just really it was really a special thing. Scotty, let's talk a little bit about this big event coming to Greenville on the 25th. You know, you've worked for UCW before, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
And so you'll be facing Carlito for the UCW Heavyweight Championship. Any words of advice to Carlito before getting there on the 25th?
Yeah, cover up, because I'm going to be punching some haymakers, throwing some haymakers at him.
Going to be throwing some big ones at him. Have you ever wrestled Carlito before?
No, I never have. You know, he's a great wrestler. He's, you know, from Puerto Rico. I wrestled for his dad's promotion down there, and he's a second generation wrestler, and he's obviously tough. He's wrestled in WWE, so it'll be a match that I look forward to. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys are really going to have a good house. I got the text here from Ronnie telling me who all is going to be on that card there, and it's really going to be a packed show. When's the last time you wrestled in Greenville? Do you remember?
I think it's been a couple of years, so it's been a while. So I look forward to coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got Lodi's going to be there, Chris Hamrick, Brody Chase, Jeff Lewis, Cruiser Lewis, Antonio Garza, and lots of surprises coming up on that big show. It's going to be a huge event. Like I said, Budweiser presents Super Brawl June 25th at 7 p.m. at the Shrine Event Center there in Greenville, South Carolina. Really quickly, Scott, about TNA. Again, you know, I don't want to harp on it too much there, but what do you think the main drawback is to them not coming up to the level that WCW was at? Is it the booking, or is it, like you mentioned before, the mistakes that continue to be made?
You know, you got a lot of guys, you know, contributing, trying to bring it up. It was Sting, Kurt Angle, you know, Jeff Jarrett, guys with worldwide name recognition, and you know, it's taking slower than I thought it would as far as getting in recognition. But eventually, you know, the right moves are made. I think that we can, you know, make a lot bigger strides.
I think the talent is obviously there. It's just a question of getting over that hump of not doing the same old.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's unfortunate that when Kevin Nash and Booker T decided not to come back, but which, two future Hall of Famers, that was, I thought, was a kind of a crushing blow, but, move on and we'll see what happens,
Yeah. Scotty, really quickly, I want to talk to you about when you almost died in 2007. For people who don't know, in 2007, you were wrestling a TNA house show in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and you sustained a kick to the throat, and you began coughing up blood and was taken to the hospital where they diagnosed you having a torn trachea. And at the time, Scotty, the word is they gave you only 5 hours to live. Is that legit?
Yeah, that's true. I had a torn trachea, so the air that doesn't go into your lungs will go into your body, and then it'll turn poisonous, and then your body you'll die. Yeah. So that's a true story. I had 5 hours to live, and like you said, I was in Puerto Rico. So luckily, I was at the best trauma center that handles that type of injury. I was actually at a great doctor. They actually, when I got back to the United States, I went to a couple specialists, and they said, they saved your life.
Unbelievable.
And you can see I have a huge scar in my right side of my lat.
Yeah.
They totally flayed me open. But that's what they had to do to, do the job and save my life. So, I was there for 3 weeks, because I had to stay there because I had a tube in my lung so I didn't get pneumonia and get sick and stuff. So, and then I had to take a cruise ship back because I still couldn't fly, So
yeah, you weren't able to fly because the pressure of the flying would have caused your lungs to collapse again. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah, I was in a coma for 2 days, and then I remember coming out of the coma. Again, I didn't realize I was in a coma for 2 days. It just felt like waking up from regular surgery. But yeah, it was a traumatic experience. It makes you think that I was that close to death. So, but yeah, again, I was working for TNA, and it's just unfortunate accident that happened. It's just. But I was wrestling again in like 2.5 months. So.
Unbelievable, and that just speaks to the absolute toughness that Scott Steiner has, man. Just pulling through that thing and getting back in the ring so quick. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be alive. So
greatly glad to still have you around. That's for sure, Scotty. Really quickly, and we're all the way out of time here, Scott. But and maybe just like maybe a minute or so. What's the major difference in your opinion between working for WCW, TNA, and the WWF/WWE? And what would have been your favorite out of all of those?
I think that anybody that, if you ask Sting, you ask all those guys back, well, Sting's only being WCW. So I think that was the best. It had to be because that's when we were drawing record crowds. We were going against the WWF at the time, that was later WWE. It was like, we beat those guys 82 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And it was just a constant battle of and people were switching channels. And like I said before, with record crowds, record sales on merchandise. And it was just an amazing experience because when they did Raw and we did Nitro, the enthusiasm with the crowd, it was like unbelievable, And it seemed like the whole country was watching it because my buddy Jumbo Elliott was playing football at the time, and he said guys were wearing NWO T-shirts and stuff under their shoulder pads and stuff, and it was just an amazing experience. So that time, that was my favorite time. I think anybody that was involved in that would have to say that because, like I said, I don't know if it's ever going to reach that scale again, but it was just amazing,
Scott Steiner, listen, man, thanks so much for coming on the program today. I can't thank you enough, and continued success in everything that you do. Like I said, you got a lifelong fan right here talking to you, and just appreciate everything you've done in and for this business. I really just can't say enough great things about you and your career.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me, man.
No problem at all. Anytime, you're welcome to come on this program. And the website, again, is bootydaddy.com. That's Scott Steiner's website. Lots of information up there for you. And, of course, again, Scott will be appearing June 25th in Greenville, South Carolina, taking on Carlito for the UCW Heavyweight Championship at the Shrine Event Center as Budweiser presents UCW Super Brawl. Again, Scott Steiner, thank you so much. We'll be right back here to close the show on Inside Wrestling Radio coming up next.